Roberts is the there she is. Hi, how are you doing? So you're still muted, but I'm just going to give you some of the background. So a lot of you guys ask about what is a marker. I get that question all the time. I did send her some information as far as what some of my followers ask me all the time. So hopefully she can cover that. And again, Lazy, appreciate you joining the Hat Show.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. So as I mentioned, I tell people, I get my marker when I'm in casino. I have markers here in Choctaw. I have markers to pretty much all the casinos in Vegas.
Okay.
So with that said, if you can explain to my followers and my listeners, and predominantly a lot of them are there at Choctaw.
Okay.
So what is a marker?
Okay, so a marker is what you pull from your credit line. It's a counter check that you draw on your personal checking account. It's printed by the casino, so you're going to sign it, and it's money given to you to play with at the casino. And then if you don't pay that back on your trip that you play, it's up to you. It's not a must. We will pull it from your checking account on the 21st day. That is one of the differences between Choctaw and a lot of Vegas facilities, is they hold theirs for 30 days where we hold ours for 21.
Correct. And which we'll cover right there. Now, so again, as she had mentioned, it is a credit line from the casino. Now, what is and I tell this to a lot of the people that I know that are going to the cage. What is the difference between a cash advance at the cage versus a marker?
Okay, so a cash advance, we do have a lot of people that consider their cash advance at the cage a credit line, and it is completely different. One of the biggest differences between cash advance and ATMs is that there are no fees associated with the credit line and markers, where traditionally ATMs and cash advances do charge a standard fee or a percentage fee, and we don't have that with the credit. Yeah,
so I've done a cash advance also. So cash advance at the casino at Choctaw is $37.50 for each $1,000 that you take out.
Yes.
So again, if you're working by percentage, and I always work by percentage, that's 3.75%, 0.375. So whether you're taking out X amount of money, that is fee that versus a marker that's being applied. In addition to, you get again, depending on your bank, they'll charge you an ATM withdrawal fee on top of that. Now, if you do a cash advance, that's the $37.50. They won't charge you the ATM fee. But if you do take out a money as far as using the ATM, your bank will charge you on top of that. So just be aware of it. And that's why most of the time, the people that I know say, hey, you should talk to John or Lazy about getting a marker at the casino. So with that said, how can one qualify for a marker?
So qualification is going to rank highly on your credit score and your bank rating. We only have the application online, and that is at choctawcasinos.com. It is site specific. Our Pecola site and our Grant site has credit as well. So you will need to specify in the location drop down, and then go to the credit apply here. They will pull not only a hard inquiry on your credit, but they will also do your bank ratings, a average and current. And also, if you have any credit at any other facilities, that will pull up with our third-party vendor, and we will be able to see the lines in your activity with that.
That's correct. So she had mentioned when my previous host, I keep asking her, when are you guys going to open a marker at the casino? And I think John told me I'm number 2 when you guys open up the marker.
Yes, you're within the top 5 of the people who signed up. So a lot of people were like, finally.
Yeah, and she said that you would have been number 1 if you'd have been here. I was like, well, I was in Vegas. And she told me that, yeah, you're the most avid person about asking about markers. And again, for me, the more fees, as a gambler, the more fees I can play with, the better it is. But yes, I know we're getting questions on TikTok also as far as what a marker. And again, you guys can join us on Facebook at the Hat Show. But again, a marker is a casino credit line. Lacey just mentioned for you to qualify for it, they do review your credit history, and they do review your daily average in the bank. So for those of you guys that fluctuates, they'll take that average, and they're not going to approve you what your daily average is. I think they'll approve you half, if not a quarter, of what your daily average is. Obviously, if your daily average is 3,000, they're not going to approve you for 3,000 just because you will gamble all of that. And then how are you going to pay, how are you going to pay your marker?
Yeah, we got to have some security for ourselves.
And correct. Other things that people talk to me about, what's interesting is when I applied for Wynn Casino in Vegas for a marker, they put my application on hold for 6 months because I have actually a profile with the World Series of Poker. And so again, I don't know how it is in your casino, but in Vegas, you cannot use the marker. You could use on table games, but you cannot use it for poker, because in poker, you could make money. You could turn around and make that money. As she had mentioned, markers does not have a fee. So imagine borrowing $1,000 and then turning that around and making $3,000. 21 days later, they take it out from you. So same thing. Wynn Casino knows that I have, and I told them, yes, I have a marker at all the MGM. I have markers at all the Caesars, and same thing. But Wynn says, yeah, we understand you're a big poker player. We want to see your slot record. We do have your slot record. We'll put you on hold. So with you guys, what can you use the marker for?
You can use it for slot play and table games plays such as blackjack and those games. And here as well, it is based on rated playing. So as you pull, we do kind of keep an eye on your rated play. So it's very important to play rated with your cards, because we want to ensure that nobody is just going to walk with those funds, because it's not a 21-day interest-free loan, even though it's interest-free. We're not a bank. We want you to play the money.
Correct. And that's what I was explaining to a lot. Different casinos have different days to take them out. Caesars has 30 days. Choctaw has 21 days. MGM has 7 days. Wynn has 4 days. So if you pull that marker, and like I said, they review your daily average on your bank. Someone was asking how much are my marker. I have a pretty healthy marker, as I mentioned, throughout Vegas. But again, I don't pull all of my markers out. I only play with what my budget is. And so one thing that I've done with Choctaw and some of the casinos in Vegas is, I increased my credit line. So same thing, the questions I get asked is, can I increase my credit line? Is that correct? You can increase your marker.
Yes, over time, we will need to see play, for one, is going to be a real big thing. And then the biggest thing is positive payback. When we're depositing those markers, we want to make sure that they're going to clear, and that we haven't had any problems with the payback. And I would say maybe 15 markers pulled and paid back positively would be a good time to request an increase on your credit limit if you're interested in that.
Yeah, thanks to John. Like I said, my marker of what I was approved for, and then after that, they will review a credit history again. They will review your daily average for your bank, and then from there they'll increase it again. Yes. So and you don't want it, just like any other credit line, you don't want it too much, just because
you don't want to hang yourself.
Yeah, you don't want to say, okay, I have X amount to play with. And then again, for those of you guys know, I'm one and done. Once I win at a casino, I'm done. I take off, and I when I fill out my ledger, that is a negative on my account already. I put that in there, even though it takes 21 days, or sometimes I'll call John and say, go ahead and clear my markers out. And they'll do that in a heartbeat. When you tell them, go ahead and clear my markers, they'll deposit those checks in your bank the next day.
Yeah, we
So if
don't
you
refuse payment.
yeah, if you don't have the funds, just be wary. The old joke was, they'll break your legs in the casino. Don't borrow money from the casino. They'll break your leg like the way it is back in the gangster days of Las Vegas. So what happens if a player defaults from their marker?
We have had some players do that. I haven't broke any legs yet, so thankfully I haven't got there. But what happens is the first thing is it suspends your credit line with us. So we put that on hold, and when we put that in suspension, it puts an exclusion on your player's account. So if you are someone who has quite a bit of points built up or free play or comps, you won't have access to that until the line is paid back in full. So once you make a full payment and the line is cleared, you can have your players' rewards back, but depending on the circumstance, we have to go to our credit committee to vote to reinstate your line or not. So it's not just us. It's not just up to us. So it may take a week or two to get your line reinstated if it is reinstated at that point.
Okay. And yeah, as she had mentioned, so I just got to Onyx this week, which is the cutoff date is April 3rd.
Oh, congratulations.
I know a lot of people are past Onyx. As I mentioned, I'm one and done. Now, for those of you guys that follow me, I do play high limit. I play $25 slots, $100 slots. So I go through those markers quickly. As I mentioned, once I win, once I'm a positive, I walk away. But now the other thing about defaulting markers is to let you guys know, it's a history of credit that if you go to Vegas, same thing, they will put your markers on hold, or they're not going to lend you money.
Yeah.
Just like a credit card, once you default in one, the record goes out there. So yeah, there's no fee to get the marker. It is pulled directly from your checking account. And that's why they review your checking history.
Right.
Also, with me, I do have several bank accounts. I have just one account dedicated just for casinos and gambling. And so that's where my marker gets pulled. That's where I deposit my wins and everything else. And so, and Lacey did cover some of the fees already. As I mentioned, there's no fee for a marker. It's 21 days until they cash it, and or if you did tell them to go ahead and take it out. Sometimes I do that. I just go ahead and clear my marker, because actually with me, the reason I cleared my marker is that I've maxed my markers out. And I said, go ahead and clear it out. I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be back at Choctaw in a week. And so it does take about, I believe from your history, it does take about 3 days or once it clears your bank, once it clears my bank, that it clears you guys' history for you guys to approve another marker.
Yes. So if let's say you had a balance and you did call me or John and ask us to drop it, we will drop it early. We can always do that for you guys. And then also it does take in our system 5 to 7 days to clear out of our system. So that makes that amount available again to you. However, what you also can do is if it hits your bank account, you can send us a screenshot where it hit the bank account, and we can do what's called an early clear. So typically it does take 2 to 3 days to hit your bank account. So it clears faster in your bank account than it does in our system. And if you need those funds available faster, you can always reach out to us and we're happy to help.
Okay. So again, just to cover, for those of you guys that always ask what's a marker, go online. You guys can apply for the marker directly to the casino. And that's what I've done. Is now, FYI, if you do apply, don't apply at all the casinos right away, because that's one thing I did is I have a marker at Cosmopolitan. Of one point, I back-to-back applied at MGM and Cosmopolitan. Cosmopolitan called me and said, "Oh, we saw that you just applied at MGM, and so are you going to be in town at our hotel or this hotel?" I was like, "Oh, I play at both," and they said, "Well, right now, we'll put yours on hold. You're approved, but we have to review it because since you're not staying at our hotel, you're staying at MGM, and you pulled a marker over there. Next time you're in town, let us know, and then we'll give you a marker. So yeah, it is, like I said, it is a credit line. They do track everything. They do track your account. And the biggest thing that you don't want to do is to default. And so, if you're a big time gambler and you're always looking to get more funds, there's always the ATM, right? You guys can go to the ATM, but again, what the benefits of a marker is the cash is right there once you're approved for it. There's no fee. Imagine, if you pull a $10,000 credit line from the bank, that's $370 that you have to pay for advance fee versus with markers, there's no fee at all. So there you go. So how can they, if they're there at the casino, can they just go to the cage and fill out the application, apply for the marker?
Yes. We have iPads set up at the cage cashiers. And if you go up to the cage cashiers and let them know that you want to apply for a credit line, they can get the iPad and help you go through the application too, because some of the questions are extensive and confusing. Also, we have a business center here at Choctaw that has internet and computers available for people to use. And we also have QR codes that are located, and they are like this right here. So you can just snap them with your phone and you can fill out the application online. And these are located throughout our casino at different little pocket holders.
Pretty good. Actually, I didn't know about that. So next time I'll, a lot of players follow. And again, I'm a high limit slot player. Someone was asking, why do you need a marker when you can just have cash? When you're dealing with thousands of dollars in regards to, you don't want to carry. So one of my history going at so I used to have a YouTube page and I shut it down. I won a big amount in Vegas. And then so I was streaming, and so that's cash in hand. And my wife was like, don't do that again.
So,
People were like, hey, congratulations, we saw that you won. And so same thing. And that's why I don't carry cash anymore. I just go straight to the cage and I ask for a marker. At the same time, when I'm there, I'm taking a look at what's going on in the casino. I ask the attendant, is it the lucky hour, what I consider a lucky hour, and so it kind of gives me a feel of what's going on in the casino. And yes, you do have to go to the cage to get your marker. Is that the only way to do it? Correct. You have to go to the cage.
Yes, for slots. If you play tables, you can go to the tables and pull, and they'll give you chips.
Okay, so if you're playing in the tables, same thing. You just fill out. You have to sign for the markers. So signing for a check, pretty much. Then from there, they'll bring, just like the James Bond movie when he pulled that $2 million marker. There you go. Just sign for it, and if you have that credit line, that's pretty good. Again, Lazy, I appreciate you joining the Hat Show. Thanks for explaining to our followers as far as what the markers. That's pretty much the biggest questions I get a lot of is, when I do a video, when I do a breakdown of my win, I always say, for some reason I win within 5 to 10 minutes of getting into the casino, and that's including me going to the cage and getting my marker. And so, I'm in the casino. I arrived here at 12:20. I went to the cage to get my marker, first slot. And again, a jackpot is anything that's 1,200 and above, right? So playing $25 slots will get you a jackpot right away. $100 slot, that's 12 credits for $100 slots. That's a jackpot quickly. And that's what I try to explain to people. I play by credit. So I appreciate you joining us. I'll see you when over there. Hopefully people will know what a marker is now. Again, it's a lot better than getting a service fee from the ATM.
Yes.
And it takes, for Choctaw, it takes 21 days for them to clear it. Caesars takes 30 days. That's MGM takes 7 days. And you could always pay it right there and then when you win the jackpot. So it doesn't clear your check, and go from there. So thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Appreciate your feedback. Welcome. Thank you.
Bye-bye.